On February 16th, 2022, a quiet Florida street lit up with gunfire. A father of four, Jared Bridegan, was shot dead next to his SUV after dropping off his children. The killer left no trace, no struggle, no robbery, just a calculated execution. Strapped into a car seat in the back was his 2-year-old daughter, Bexley, miraculously unharmed. The attack wasn't random. This was an ambush, a carefully staged murder tied not to Jared's career or lifestyle, but to a custody battle that had escalated into a bitter war. The tragedy exposed the terrifying reality of how deep resentment can fester during custody conflicts. This case stunned investigators, shattered families, and has now become a symbol of how complicated and deadly divorce custody and control can become. 2. Jared Bridegan, the devoted father. Jared Bridegan wasn't a celebrity. He was a software engineer at Microsoft, a husband to Kirsten, and father to 4 children. Born in 1988, Jared was deeply rooted in his Mormon faith and known for his warmth, dependability, and loyalty to his children. Before meeting Kirsten, Jared had married Shayna Gardner in 2010, and together they had twins, Liam and Abigail. That marriage fell apart by 2015, but Jared remained a hands-on father, fighting for equal time with his kids. His life revolved around pickups, dinners, and playdates, balancing time between his 2 families with care. He was active in his community and known for giving time and energy to his children, friends, and church. His devotion to parenting became central to his identity, admired by many around him. But in that balance, resentment brewed, and Jared's steady dedication to his children would unknowingly place him in the crosshairs of a horrifying conspiracy. 3. Timeline, February 16th, 2022. On that Wednesday night, Jared followed his usual routine, dinner with his twins and little daughter Bexley. He dropped Liam and Abigail at his ex-wife Shayna's house in Jacksonville Beach and started his 40-minute drive back home to St. Augustine, but only a few miles from Shayna's residence. He stopped, blocked by a tire deliberately placed in the middle of the road. As he stepped out of his SUV, he was gunned down at close range. Multiple bullets struck him. He died on the spot. His car's hazard lights were still flashing. The tire was untouched. The vehicle showed no mechanical issue, and his belongings were still there. This wasn't a robbery. It was a hit. The sudden brutality shocked police and left the community stunned, questioning who could commit such an organized and heartless act. 3 minutes later, a passerby found the scene, Jared's lifeless body beside his car. Bexley still strapped in, traumatized but alive. 4. Investigation, a setup with no witnesses. The scene was almost surgically precise. No surveillance cameras, no other cars, no nearby homes. Police arrived to find a tire in the road, a running SUV, and a child staring from the back seat. Shell casings were recovered, but the murder weapon was gone. Investigators knew early this was not a random act. There was no struggle, nothing stolen, and no sign Jared had fought back. It was too clean. They called in a canine search team and canvassed the area. A few streets away, a security camera caught a blurry blue Ford F-150 driving away. It was made between 2004 and 2008. The footage became the only clue. As days passed, attention shifted. Jared didn't live dangerously. He had no enemies. But he had one person he fought with, Shayna. Their contentious custody battle had lasted years. Jared's new wife Kirsten and his brother Adam suspected the motive might lie in that prolonged conflict. 5. Background: a marriage broken. Shayna Gardner, now Shayna Fernandez after remarrying, came from wealth. Her parents founded a multi-million-dollar crafting business. She and Jared had married in 2010 and initially lived a picture-perfect life in Utah. But after their twins were born, one with a heart condition, the family relocated to Florida. The marriage fractured. Allegations flew. Emotional abuse, affairs, manipulation. Jared discovered flirty emails between Shayna and her CrossFit trainer. She filed for divorce and sought full custody. Jared countered, and the custody fight began, a battle that consumed years, legal fees, and emotional warfare. Each claimed the other spied, recorded, manipulated the kids. Jared once told his lawyer, He wanted the gates of hell open on Shayna for allegedly placing baby monitors in the house. She accused him of coaching the children against her. Resentment simmered and deepened. Friends say Shayna's hostility grew more intense each year, making even basic parenting exchanges volatile and filled with tension. 6. Twist, the break in the case. For nearly a year, police had no arrests. Then in January 2023, the silence broke. Authorities announced the arrest of Henry Tenen, a 61-year-old Jacksonville man with a lengthy rap sheet. He was charged with conspiracy to commit murder, second-degree murder, and accessory after the fact. But the real twist? Henry had lived in a rental home owned by Mario Fernandez, Shayna's new husband. This was no coincidence. Evidence pointed to Henry being the trigger man, and Mario the one who hired him. The blue Ford F-150 matched Henry's vehicle. The rental connection? Too direct to ignore. Phone records and text messages reveal consistent contact between the men during the days leading up to murder. Even more chilling, police believe this wasn't just Henry and Mario. There were likely multiple co-conspirators. The murder of Jared Bridegan was now officially a murder-for-hire plot. 7. The arrests, charges, and evidence. In March 2023, Mario Fernandez was arrested and charged with first-degree murder, conspiracy, and solicitation of murder. He and Henry Tenen were indicted together. Prosecutors claim that Mario coordinated the killing with Henry and someone else. The trigger? The custody battle. Shayna and Mario allegedly viewed Jared as an obstacle, one they wanted permanently removed. A worker at Shayna's tattoo parlor told media Shayna once asked if they knew someone who would shut Jared up. Investigators dug into phone records, finances, and connections. The puzzle pieces fell into place. Though Shayna had not been charged as of the last update, public suspicion remained. She fled Florida for Washington state. Meanwhile, Kirsten and Jared's family continued to press for more arrests and more answers. The community called for transparency and pushed prosecutors to fully expose the extent of conspiracy. 8. The trial, what we know so far. Henry Tenen pleaded not guilty. His daughter claimed he was being set up, but evidence mounted. The truck, the rental link, and perhaps most damning, testimony that he received payment from someone tied to Mario. Mario's legal team has denied all allegations, but prosecutors remain confident. The gun hasn't been found, but digital forensics, witness statements, and financial records are forming a strong case. As of now, both men remain in custody awaiting trial. Shayna has maintained her innocence, and no formal charges have been filed against her. But sealed affidavits suggest more details are yet to be released. The state is expected to call over 24 witnesses, including Jared's widow, investigators, and digital analysts who will testify about phone pings and message history. This case is still unfolding, but the heart of it has already been exposed. A man ambushed, a child left in the aftermath, and a custody battle that may have turned lethal. 9. Legacy, a family fighting for justice. Jared's widow, Kirsten, has become the voice of the investigation. Her public pleas, along with Jared's brother Adam, help keep media attention on the case. They've created a foundation in Jared's name, advocating for children caught in high-conflict custody cases. Jared's surviving children are now being raised without their father. Liam and Abigail, old enough to remember, faced the heaviest burden. This tragedy raised important questions about how custody disputes are handled, how law enforcement investigates domestic threats, and how deep resentment can evolve into deadly action. Kirsten continues to advocate for court reforms and increase legal protections for parents navigating contentious separations. Her mission is to ensure that no other family suffers such irreversible loss. 10. Conclusion, your thoughts matter. The murder of Jared Bridegan was not a random crime. It was, by every indication, the result of hatred, control, and unresolved conflict. A man was ambushed after dinner with his kids. A toddler left alone in the dark. A family shattered. Now we ask you, was this inevitable? Could better legal safeguards in custody battles have helped? Should prosecutors be doing more to pursue all involved? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. If this story moved you, like, share, and subscribe. Justice can take time, but silence helps no one. Let's make sure Jared Bridegan's story is never forgotten. Every voice counts. Your awareness could inspire change or even help prevent the next tragedy born from resentment and silence.